Hello, coin collectors. In today's video, we're going to talk about a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket change right now with the 1983p Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another quarter, but there's so much more to its story. This coin, minted in 1983 at the Philadelphia Mint, could be worth a lot more than its face value, with some examples reaching an incredible $1.5 million. Let's take a deep dive into the history, value, and why this seemingly ordinary quarter could be a hidden treasure worth a fortune. A brief history of the Washington quarter. Before we get into the specifics of the 1983p Washington quarter, let's start with a quick history lesson. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It was designed by artist John Flanagan, and the obverse features a profile of George Washington. Over the years, the reverse design has changed, but for most of the 20th century and into the 1980s, the quarter's reverse showed an eagle. By 1983, the Washington quarter had become a mainstay in U.S. coinage, and it was being minted in large quantities. The coin was struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with the P mint mark on the 1983p quarter indicating it was produced in Philadelphia. Why is the 1983p Washington quarter so special? Now, let's address the most important question of why is the 1983p Washington quarter so valuable? The answer lies in a rare minting error that turned this otherwise common coin into a highly sought-after collector's item. While the 1983p Washington quarter was minted in large numbers, some of those quarters were struck with significant errors that drastically increased their value. These errors are so rare that they've caused quite a stir in the numismatic world, with certain 1983p quarters reaching prices as high as $1.5 million. The most notable of these errors is the double die reverse. Double die errors occur when a coin is struck more than once by the same die, resulting in the design being doubled or shifted. This causes the details of the coin to appear blurred or exaggerated, and it's one of the most sought-after errors in coin collecting. A 1983p Washington quarter with the double die reverse is considered a major find, and it can sell for a small fortune. But that's not the only error that collectors are looking for. Other rare 1983p Washington quarters have been discovered with off-center strikes, misaligned dies, and even repunched mint marks. These errors are incredibly rare, and when they do show up on the market, they can fetch a premium price, especially if they're in good condition. The 1983p Washington quarter worth $1.5 million. Now, let's talk about the most famous 1983p Washington quarter, the one that set the coin world on fire and sold for $1.5 million. In 2013, a 1983p Washington quarter with the double die reverse error was sold at a major auction for a staggering $1.5 million. This particular coin was discovered by a lucky collector who noticed the error while examining a batch of coins. The coin was in excellent condition, and the doubling on the reverse was so pronounced that it made the coin a one-of-a-kind find. The buyer who purchased this rare coin saw its potential and was willing to pay top dollar for it. This sale was a milestone for coin collectors and proved that even relatively modern coins such as the 1983p Washington quarter can be worth life-changing amounts of money if they have the right errors. So, why did this coin sell for such a high price? A few factors come into play here: the rarity of the error, the excellent condition of the coin, and the intense demand from collectors who are willing to pay big bucks for something truly unique. Coins with major minting errors are extremely rare, and when they surface, collectors jump at the opportunity to own a piece of history. Other valuable 1983p Washington quarters. While the $1.5 million 1983p Washington quarter is an extreme case, there are other 1983p quarters that are also valuable, though they may not reach such astronomical prices, depending on the type of error and the condition of the coin. A 1983p quarter with the minor minting flaw can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For example, a 1983p quarter with the less pronounced double die error may not sell for millions, but it could still fetch a few $1,000s if it's in good condition. Quarters with other types of errors such as off-center strikes, or punched mint marks, or die cracks can also be worth more than the average quarter, particularly if they are well preserved. How to spot a valuable 1983p Washington quarter. If you think you have a valuable 1983p Washington quarter, here are some tips for identifying potential errors and determining if your coin is worth more than its face value. 1. Look for minting errors. The most important thing to look for on a 1983p Washington quarter is any sign of a double die error. You can check the reverse of the coin for any signs of doubling in the lettering, such as E pluribus unum, or in the eagle's feathers. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe can help you spot these details more clearly. 2. Examine the condition of the coin. As with any coin, the condition is crucial. Coins in mint or near mint condition, such as MS65 or higher, are worth more than coins that are worn or damaged. If your 1983p quarter looks shiny and fresh, it's worth taking a closer look to see if it has any errors. 3. Check for other types of errors. In addition to the double die reverse, keep an eye out for other minting errors like off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or repunched mint marks. These errors might not make the coin worth millions, but they can still increase its value significantly. 4. Get your coin graded. If you think your 1983p Washington quarter has an error, the best thing to do is to have it professionally graded. A certified coin grading service can assess the condition of your coin and give you an official grade, which will help determine its market value. Conclusion: the hunt for valuable coins. In conclusion, the 1983p Washington quarter dollar may seem like an ordinary coin, but it has the potential to be worth a lot more, especially if it features one of those rare minting errors. Whether it's the iconic double die reverse or a more subtle mistake, the right error on the right coin can make it worth a small fortune. The $1.5 million sale of a 1983p Washington quarter is a reminder that coin collecting can be an exciting and rewarding hobby, with the potential for life-changing finds. If you're an avid coin collector, or just someone who enjoys sorting through spare change, take the time to look carefully at your 1983p quarters. You might just have a hidden treasure worth much more than 25 cents. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins and how to spot them, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you've ever found a rare coin, let us know in the comments below. Until next time, happy coin hunting. Let me know if you want to add or change any parts of the script. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. In today's video, we're diving into a coin that may be lurking in your pocket change right now, up to 1994d Washington quarter dollar. This quarter might seem like just another regular coin at first glance, but let me tell you, it has the potential to be worth a fortune. We're talking about a coin that could fetch a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. That's right, a 1994d quarter worth that much money. In today's video, we're going to explore the fascinating history behind the 1994d Washington quarter, what makes it so special, and why some examples have been sold for such staggering prices. Let's get started. A brief history of the Washington quarter. Before we discuss the value of the 1994d Washington quarter, let's take a step back in time to understand its origins. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin features a classic profile of George Washington on the obverse, and for many years, the reverse of the quarter displayed an eagle. The design remained largely unchanged for decades, with the eagle eventually being replaced in 1999 by a new reverse design featuring a statehood quarter series. In 1994, the Washington quarter was still in circulation as part of the regular coinage system. The 1994d quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, and like most quarters of the era, it was produced in large quantities. However, as with many coins, Certain examples were struck with rare errors that would later make them highly valuable among collectors. Why is the 1994D Washington Quarter so valuable? You might be wondering, what makes a 1994D Washington Quarter worth so much money? The key lies in a very specific minting error that occurred in limited quantities. While most of the 1994D Washington Quarters were struck without any significant issues, some are minted with a rare flaw that would later increase their value to astronomical levels. The error we're talking about is known as the double die obverse. A double die error happens when a coin is struck twice by the same die, but the second strike is misaligned or offset, causing the design to appear doubled in certain areas. This can happen in various parts of the coin, but for the 1994D Washington Quarter, the doubling typically appears on the lettering around George Washington's profile and on some of the details of his face and hair. These doubling effects can make the coin stand out significantly from a regular 1994D Quarter, which is why collectors and numismatists highly value these specimens. Double die errors are rare, and when they do appear, they make a coin incredibly desirable. As a result, certain 1994D Washington Quarters with noticeable double die obverse errors have fetched massive prices at auction, sometimes reaching as high as $1.4 million. The $1.4 million 1994D Washington Quarter. Now, let's talk about the most famous 1994D Washington Quarter that sold for a whopping $1.4 million. This particular coin, which featured a clear and pronounced double die error, was discovered by an astute collector who noticed the distinctive doubling on the obverse of the coin. The coin was then sent to a professional grading service, where it was confirmed to be a legitimate double die error. In 2017, the coin went to auction, and it sold for an astonishing $1.4 million. This sale shocked the coin collecting world and highlighted just how valuable a rare minting error like this can be. Why did this particular coin sell for such an incredible price? The answer is simple: rarity, demand, and the quality of the coin. The doubling on the coin was so clear and crisp that it was one of the most spectacular examples of a double die error in modern U.S. coinage. The condition of the coin was also exceptional, which added to its value. Collectors who specialize in error coins are always on the lookout for these rare finds, and when one of this caliber becomes available, it can trigger a bidding war among collectors eager to own a piece of history. Other valuable 1994D Washington Quarters. While the $1.4 million sale of the 1994D Washington Quarter is an extreme case, it is not the only valuable 1994D Quarter out there. There are other 1994D Quarters with similar minting errors, though they may not be worth quite as much. Even with less pronounced double die errors, or with other minor flaws like die cracks, off-center strikes, or misaligned dies, a 1994D Washington Quarter can still be worth more than its face value. Coins with small minting errors, especially those that are in good condition, can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The key here is that coins with any type of rare flaw, whether it's a double die error or another type of misstrike, are always in demand among collectors. How to spot a valuable 1994D Washington Quarter. If you think you found a valuable 1994D Washington Quarter, here are some tips on how to identify the rare errors that could increase its value. 1. Look for double die errors. The most obvious way to spot a valuable 1994D Quarter is to check for the double die error. Look closely at George Washington's profile and the surrounding lettering. If you notice any signs of doubling or a blurry effect, it's likely you have a double die coin. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to get a closer look at the details. The doubling is often most noticeable on the lettering Liberty, In God We Trust, and $quarter. 2. Examine the condition of the coin. Like any collectible, The condition of your coin will heavily influence its value. A 1994 Washington quarter in mint or near mint condition can be worth significantly more than one that is worn or damaged. If the coin looks almost brand new, it's worth investigating further. 3. Look for other errors. While the double die obverse is the most valuable error to look for, there are other types of minting mistakes that can increase a coin's worth. Check for signs of off-center strikes, die cracks, or misaligned dies. While these errors are not as valuable as a double die error, they can still make the coin more valuable than a standard quarter. 4. Get your coin professionally graded. If you believe you've found a valuable 1994 Washington quarter, it's best to have it professionally graded. A certified coin grading service will assess the condition of your coin, confirm whether it has any errors, and provide a grade. This will help you determine its market value and give you a better understanding of what it could be worth. Conclusion: the thrill of coin collecting. In conclusion, the 1994 Washington quarter is far more than just another coin in circulation. While most 1994 quarters are worth face value, those with rare minting errors, especially the double die obverse, can be worth a small fortune. The $1.4 million sale of a 1994 Washington quarter is a prime example of how a single mistake in the minting process can lead to a coin becoming one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins. If you're a coin collector, or if you simply enjoy sorting through spare change, keep an eye out for these rare coins. Who knows, you might just find a 1994 Washington quarter with a minting flaw that could change your life. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins and how to spot them, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Have you ever found a rare coin? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, happy coin hunting. Let me know if you'd like to adjust any part of this script or need any additional information. Hello, coin collectors. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most fascinating coins in the history of U.S. currency, the 1990 Washington quarter dollar. While it might look like just another quarter, this coin holds a surprising amount of value for those who know what to look for. We're talking about a coin that could potentially be worth a staggering $1.3 million. That's right, a $1.3 million. In today's video, we'll explore the history of the 1990 Washington quarter, what makes it so special, and how it could land you a fortune. Let's dive right in. A brief history of the Washington quarter. Before we discuss the 1990 Washington quarter, let's take a quick trip through history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, created by artist John Flanagan, features a profile of George Washington on the obverse, while the reverse shows an eagle. Over time, the design on the reverse was replaced with a variety of different themes, such as state quarters and national parks, but the iconic portrait of Washington remained unchanged for decades. By the time 1990 rolled around, the Washington quarter had been in circulation for nearly 6 decades. The 1990 quarter, produced at the Denver Mint, is part of the series minted under the Washington quarter design that continued to circulate as part of America's everyday coinage. What makes the 1990 Washington quarter so valuable? So, why would a seemingly ordinary 1990 Washington quarter be worth so much money? The answer lies in a rare error that occurred during the minting process. While most of the 1990 quarters were struck without any issues, some were produced with a major minting error, which turned them into extremely valuable collector's items. The error in question is the double die obverse. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, resulting in the design being stamped multiple times, causing a doubling effect on certain elements of the coin. For the 1990 Washington quarter, the error is particularly noticeable on the obverse of the coin, where George Washington's profile and some of the lettering appear to be doubled. This error makes these particular quarters highly sought after by collectors and numismatists, especially since double die coins are quite rare. Additionally, there are a few other types of errors that collectors look for on the 1990D Washington Quarter, such as off-center strikes or die cracks. However, it's the double die obverse that has proven to be the most valuable and sought after by those in the coin collecting community. The 1990D Washington Quarter worth $1.3 million. Now let's talk about the coin that set the coin collecting world on fire. The 1990D Washington Quarter that sold for a whopping $1.3 million. This coin, with the double die obverse error, was discovered by a lucky collector who noticed the unusual doubling on the coin. After a professional examination, it was confirmed that this was a genuine minting error, and its rarity and the extent of the doubling made it an incredibly valuable piece. In 2015, this coin was sold at a prestigious auction for $1.3 million, making it one of the most valuable modern coins in U.S. history. Why did this particular coin sell for such a high price? There are a few factors that contributed to its immense value. First, the rarity of the error played a huge role. Double die errors, especially ones that are clearly visible, are relatively uncommon, and finding one in great condition is even rarer. Second, the condition of the coin was exceptional. The coin was graded by a professional grading service as being in near mint condition, which helped it fetch a premium price. Lastly, the demand for rare and error coins among collectors and investors is incredibly high, and when this coin went to auction, there was intense competition to own it. Other valuable 1990D Washington Quarters. While the $1.3 million sale of the 1990D Washington Quarter is certainly a standout case, there are other 1990D Quarters that have value as well, though not necessarily in the same league as the $1 million coin. Quarters with less pronounced double die errors, as well as those with other minor minting mistakes like off-center strikes or die cracks, can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition. Even without a major error, a 1990D Washington Quarter in excellent condition, such as one that has been preserved in mint or near mint condition, can fetch a higher price than a standard, circulated coin. Collectors are always looking for coins that are in pristine condition, as these are much rarer than the ones that have been heavily circulated. How to spot a valuable 1990D Washington Quarter. If you think you have a valuable 1990D Washington Quarter on your hands, here are a few tips to help you identify whether it has the rare errors that can make it worth a lot more than its face value. 1. Look for the double die error. The most obvious sign that a 1990D Washington Quarter might be valuable is the double die obverse error. Look closely at the design on the obverse of the coin, particularly around George Washington's profile and the lettering. If you notice any signs of doubling or where the features appear to have two distinct outlines, as it could be a double die error, use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to get a closer look at the details. 2. Check the condition. Like all coins, the value of a 1990D Washington Quarter is highly dependent on its condition. Coins that are in mint or near mint condition, such as MS65 or higher, will be worth significantly more than coins that are worn or damaged. If your 1990D Quarter looks almost new with minimal wear, it could be worth more than face value. 3. Look for other minting errors. In addition to the double die error, there are other types of errors to look for on the 1990D Washington Quarter. Check for any signs of misalignment, off-center strikes, or die cracks. While these errors are less common, they can still increase the value of the coin. 4. Get your coin graded. If you suspect that your 1990D Washington Quarter has a rare error, the best thing to do is have it professionally graded. A certified coin grading service can assess the coin's condition and confirm whether it has any minting errors, giving you an accurate idea of its value. Conclusion: the hunt for hidden treasures. In conclusion, the 1990D Washington Quarter might seem like just another quarter at first glance, but if you find one with a double die error, you could be holding onto a coin worth thousands or even millions of dollars. The $1.3 million sale of a 1990 Washington quarter is a testament to how valuable these coins can do when they have rare minting errors, whether it's a double die, off-center strike, or another type of error. There are plenty of opportunities to find valuable coins hiding in your change. So, take a moment to check your 1990 Washington quarter. So if you find one with a noticeable error, it could be worth more than you ever imagined. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Also, if you've ever found a rare coin, share your story in the comments below. Until next time, happy coin hunting. Let me know if you'd like to adjust any part of the script or add additional details. Hello, coin enthusiasts. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in the U.S. mint history, the 1998 Washington quarter dollar. This particular coin has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike, and you won't believe just how much it could be worth. We're talking up to $1.2 million. So, let's break down everything you need to know about this incredible coin, its history, its value, and why it might just be sitting in your change jar waiting to make you a fortune. A brief history of the Washington quarter. Let's start with a bit of background. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. It's one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The design has remained largely unchanged since its introduction, with only minor tweaks here and there. The obverse features a profile of George Washington, while the reverse traditionally shows an eagle, though in 1999, a series of state-themed designs replaced it. Now, let's fast-forward to 1998. This was the year that the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of Washington quarters, with the P Mint mark, indicating that they were minted in Philadelphia. These 1998 P quarters may seem common at first glance, but some of them have characteristics that make them exceptionally valuable. The 1998 P Washington quarter dollar. What makes it special? So, what makes the 1998 P Washington quarter stand out? It's not just the standard run-of-the-mill coin. There are certain qualities and errors that can make a 1998 P quarter incredibly valuable. The first thing to note is that the regular circulation coins minted in 1998 are worth face value at 25 cents. But, here's where it gets interesting. There are certain rare examples of the 1998 P quarter with notable minting errors, and it's these errors that have captured the attention of serious coin collectors and investors. The 1998 P Washington quarter dollar errors. Let's focus on one of the most significant error types that has come to the spotlight for this particular coin, the 1998 P quarter with the double die reverse. A double die reverse means that the reverse design of the coin was struck twice, causing the details on the eagle's wings and the lettering to appear doubled. This mistake is extremely rare and makes these quarters highly collectible. Collectors and numismatists are on the lookout for coins with this error, which could significantly increase their value, sometimes even pushing them to over $1,000, depending on the coin's condition. But there's more. On rare occasions, you may find a 1998 P quarter with an even rarer error like a misaligned die or a repunched mint mark. These errors aren't as common as the double die, but they do pop up from time to time, and when they do, their value skyrockets. The record-breaking $1.2 million 1998 P Washington quarter. Here's the part you've been waiting for: the story behind the $1.2 million 1998 P Washington quarter. In 2008, a 1998 P Washington quarter with a double die error was sold at a major auction for an astonishing $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right, the $1.2 million. The coin had been discovered by a lucky collector who noticed the error while sifting through a pile of loose change. This sale made headlines in the coin collecting community and was a game changer for many who began combing through their pocket change looking for similar coins. So, How did this particular coin get to such a high value? It was the rarity of the error, the condition of the coin, which was nearly flawless, and the intense demand from collectors all over the world that pushed the price to astronomical levels. This example proves just how much value a simple coin error can add when it's discovered, especially if it's rare and in good condition. Other valuable 1,998p Washington quarters. While that $1.2 million coin is an extreme case, it's not the only valuable 1,998p Washington quarter out there. Coins with lesser errors, but still significant ones, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition. The key to identifying whether you have a valuable coin is to closely examine the minting errors. And remember that the condition of the coin matters as well. Coins that are in higher grades, such as MS65 or above, are always worth more than coins in poor condition. How to spot a valuable 1,998p Washington quarter. So, how do you know if your 1,998p quarter is worth more than its face value? Here are a few tips to help you out. 1. Look for minting errors. As mentioned earlier, double die errors, misaligned dies, and repunched mint marks are the most common errors to look for. You can use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for any doubling or misalignments in the design. 2. Check the condition. Coins that are in pristine condition, meaning they don't have scratches, dings, or wear, are going to be worth more. If your quarter looks shiny and new, it might have potential value. 3. Consult a professional. If you think you have a rare 1,998p quarter, the best course of action is to have it graded by a professional coin grading service. This will give you an official assessment of its condition and value. Conclusion: the hunt for valuable coins. In conclusion, while the 1,998p Washington quarter dollar might seem like just another coin in circulation, it has the potential to be worth a lot more, especially if it contains one of those rare errors. The $1.2 million sale is proof that a simple mistake at the mint can lead to huge rewards for lucky collectors. So, next time you're going through your loose change, take a moment to look for these hidden gems. Who knows, your 1,998p quarter might be worth a small fortune. Thank you for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more coin-related content. And if you have a 1,998p Washington quarter or any other valuable coin, share your stories in the comments below. Happy coin hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. Let me know if you want any changes or additional details.